Okay, so today we have Morrissey for Morrissey Friday. Can you believe it? You need Morrissey for that, I do believe. I couldn't understand why people laughed. Super rare. Put in parentheses here. And as I see that it was put here, this song hit the internet in August of 2020. So I guess, again, super rare. That has me intrigued. And I mean, at this point in Morrissey reactions, we're just doing some lost demos, some super rare stuff. And as well, there's a lot of covers to go through still, I do believe, too. But anyway, I couldn't understand why people laughed. I want to get into this. It has me intrigued. So here we go. Talk about it after. Let's friggin' go.
I stood upon the stage.
That Latin flair, I feel.
I started to sing my song.
Or Spanish, perhaps.
I said I can rectify everything that's wrong. And I couldn't understand why people laughed. I couldn't understand.
No, I'm lying.
I collected my things and I left. Because now I understand. I moved across the stage.
So much clarity in
I
his voice.
sang loud and proud in time. I said I look into animals' eyes, and I see mine, I see mine. And I couldn't understand why people laughed. I couldn't understand. I collected my things and I left. Because now I understand. I understand. Spotlit on the stage for the whole world to see. I sang, I am she, and he is me, he is me. Flight on the stage, I'm now so poorly lit. I sing it because I could never speak it. I could never speak it, and I couldn't understand why people laughed. I couldn't understand. I collected my things and I left. Because now I understand. I understand. I froze upon the stage, the soul open wide, and people laughed so hard that they cried.
That's it. My goodness. All right. Morrissey, I couldn't understand why people laughed, and now there's another song playing, and it scared the crap out of me. But anyway, yeah, like I said, Morrissey, I couldn't understand why people laughed. Holy moly. So I believe from what I've read, again, this hit the internet in August of 2020, and I don't know if it was supposed to be on Bonfire of Teenagers. Apparently, it was never. Again, apparently, it's super rare. It was never put on an album, and there's a lot of controversy that went around with Bonfire of Teenagers, and it was unreleased, and all that stuff. And I think about all of those things, and I think about what Morrissey may be talking about here. But when whatever you think about Morrissey and whatever you think about who he is and his opinions, whatever, I just think about here with how these are the same kind of lyrics he was singing back in the 1980s. I mean, at the same point, nobody gets me. He's isolated. He's longing for someone to again, to understand him. I mean, it's the same kind of thing that goes on and on, but at the same point, I'm not tired of it because it's just, I mean, I guess it's relatable. But at the same point, it's just something about, like I said there at one point during the reaction, there's so much clarity in his voice. I love the sparse instrumentation. And like I said, I can't even really find a personnel for the song because, again, it's just like, doesn't show what album it was on or anything like that. But at the same point, like I said, there was that kind of Spanish flair. I mean, I kind of said Latin flair, whatever. I apologize, but that guitar work right at the get-go, that it's just kind of almost, I want to say quirky in a way, but it's also very, what the hell's the word I'm thinking of? It's very intriguing. I have to say that. It's just, I don't know, it just caught my attention, and I was like, ooh, that's a nice little tone there on the guitar. And of course, I just really enjoyed Morrissey coming in there, and again, him sounding so dejected, him sounding so melancholic, him sounding empathetic or sympathetic, whatever you want to say there, and him sounding just fed up and frustrated. I mean, it's the same shit you always get from him. Not on every song he's ever done, but it's his wheelhouse. It's what he's known for. It's what he's good at, and singing stuff like this. And I know some people are always like, "Oh, poor Morrissey. You know, he's always so sad. He's got whatever millions of dollars, but he's always so sad. Whatever." But but I feel like it works well. And here again, I don't know. I just really enjoyed again that sparse instrumentation. How his voice was the most important thing here. These are the Morrissey songs that I like a lot. That I was going to say I like the most, but I guess so. I mean, I just love those kind of songs where he's so real and he's so honest with, about himself, and how at one line he said, "I could never speak this, I have to sing it." And I think about how a lot of singers, a lot of musicians, I mean, yeah, they may be shy. And I think of some singers who, they're scared to sing on stage. And I mean, you're talking about singing on a stage here. I forget who the hell it was now, but somebody who wouldn't even look at the audience. They would have to turn around to sing. But somebody I like, and I can't remember who the singer was now. Either way, maybe I'll look it up and put it in this video. But yeah, I just think about that and just being on stage, and how, again, you might have some kind of fright, or you might be afraid to talk in front of people or in front of crowds or whatever it is, or do presentations. But when it comes to music, you can write a good song and you can sing those words, and it's just, there's something different about singing than talking. And anyway, just some of these lines spoke to me and made me think, and it was a thought-provoking track anyway. And getting back to the instrumentation, I love that, like I said, Spanish or Latin flair. I mean, that's what comes in my big fat head. On the guitar, that just was the first thing you hear, I do believe now. The maracas were a nice little addition in there too. There's that guitar work as well that was almost kind of grimy sounding at different points, along with that bass and the drums too. I mean, there's a grimy feel a little bit about it, but at the same point, it was never overbearing. It was never too much, because I feel like, again, as it mostly is, it's about Morrissey's voice here and how sad he sounds and how isolated he sounds and how everything's kind of as it's always been. Nobody understands me, and yeah. So, but at the same point, there's always that warmth to his voice, no matter what song you listen to from Morrissey. And I mean, I've seen people talk about this before. What seems to always happen is Morrissey's voice is always the strongest part of his song, and that's always the key, where he has that warmth, he has that melancholic feel, and yeah, and he sounds so strong. And even here, I believe, like what I said, this song came out around 2020 or whatever. It's more of a recent Morrissey track, and again, his voice sounds pretty goddamn good for him being 60 or whatever it was at the time. So, but at the same point, like I said, I love the other musicians on the track here, and they work great at their sparse instrumentation and timely when they could come in and then go away for Morrissey to, put the point more at home, when he was just saying kind of almost a cappella at points. It almost reminded me of When the Bullfighter Dies, but that's a very just a cappella song there, but it gave me the same kind of feel in a way. So anyway, let's get to these lyrics. Again, I couldn't really find a personnel, and I know a lot of, the same people are probably on this. I would imagine Boz, I would imagine Jesse Tobias, Matt Walker. I mean, a lot of the same names, Solomon Walker, are the same kind of people that are always on his songs here in the recent years. But anyway, everyone did their job either way, and Morrissey was the focal point as usual. So I stood up on the stage, I started to sing my song, and what was the other song I listened to where he talked about it's something about being on a stage and being booed or whatever. There's another song he's saying. I've done so many Morrissey songs, but anyway, it's giving me that feeling of that song, whatever that is. I apologize. I said I can rectify everything that's wrong. Now, I don't know if he's talking about himself, because again, I think about the controversies, whatever around him, or his thoughts, whatever, or just thinking about what's going on in the world. I could fix world hunger. I can rectify war. I don't know. I can do this stuff, and people laughed at him. Which, I mean, again, I don't know if he's talking about himself or around the world, but that's a big task. I could fix everything that's wrong, I'm mostly saying there. And I couldn't understand why people laughed. He has ideas, or he has, maybe he has a way or whatever. But again, he's seen as being so esoteric that people are like, get the fuck out of here. What the hell are you talking about? Anyway, I couldn't understand. I collected my things and I left. And again, if you don't feel appreciated, get the hell out of there. I mean, my God, do the old Irish goodbye or whatever it is, because now I understand. Again, I feel like he's talking about that disconnect between audiences and him, and maybe not his audience, but people that don't understand him and how he's finally figuring out that, you know what, fuck these, fuck these people, because I don't, saying that much, but, yeah, just being like, you know what, I'm not appreciated there. Why keep trying to be appreciated there? Why, I should just pack up my things and leave. I'm being laughed at here in this way, in this manner for, what I want, what I'm saying or singing. I moved across the stage. I sang loud and proud in time, and in time, that's good. He's singing on key. I said, I look into animals' eyes and I see mine. And this is the realest lyrics here. These are the most relatable for me as a vegetarian, I will say. You got the Meat is Murder poster behind me. I didn't get that Meat is Murder poster only because it's my favorite album of the Smiths. It's also because I love the message. Anyway. And I couldn't understand why people laughed. I couldn't understand. I collected my things that I left because now I understand. And of course, those same lines come in after almost every part that he does there, where he talks about, why he had to take up his things and leave. The previous line tells you, what happened there to make him do that. But of course, he's a vegan, I do believe, not a vegetarian, and he's always been a very, very big animal rights advocate. I remember there's that concert he did that made news, back in 2009, around there, 2010, whatever, where he was at a festival and he said he smelled burning flesh of animals, and he left. And again, some people will laugh at that and think, yeah, because vegetarianism or even veganism is still not frowned upon, but laughed at. Really, it is still laughed at. For me, even as a vegetarian, I feel like people around me make more of a deal about it than I do. I really don't care what you do, but I don't eat animals. So that just comes to my mind. That's just such a relatable line. And how, again, he sees himself in animals and that he loves animals. And I feel that as well, I'm not an animal rights advocate like him or whatever the hell, but I do, I am for animal rights. Anyway, put that all aside now, getting my personal life in there. But yeah, it's very relatable there. I feel that in my bones and in my goddamn blood that he sees. Yeah. And again, that's a real line, because you go online or whatever. People laugh at vegans and such, and some vegans take it far away. And it's like, holy moly. But anyway, a spotlight on the stage for the whole world to see. I said, I am she and he is me. And now I'm going to be honest, I don't know everything that's going on there, if this is a reference to something, but I think about maybe he's talking about the people that look up to him, or again, his audience that do like him, that do understand him perhaps, and he sees himself in them. He is me, I am she, all of that comes in my big fat head there. But perhaps I'm just an nincompoop there. And full flight on the stage. And now, now I'm so poorly lit, I believe, which is a difference from when he started out, when he was pretty well lit, wasn't he? I stood up on the stage, I started to sing. Okay, so I guess there was no light talk in the first half there, but I thought there was. Anyway, now he's poorly lit to begin with. Anyway, I sing it because I could never speak it. And again, like I said, it seems like he could write songs about his beliefs and his opinions, whatever, more. Then, when he speaks it, he feels like maybe he'll get more pushback there. Singing it just feels better. And it's just a better way to get all of his emotions out anyway. And like I said, that goes for a lot of singers who feel like they can only sing what they want to, do. Anyway, and I couldn't understand why people laughed. I couldn't understand why they laughed. I collected my things and I left, because now I understand. I froze up on the stage, the soul opened wide, and people laughed so hard they cried. And that twisting of the word cried there at the end too. And you think about how you crying from laughter, and it seems like that would be what they're doing here. But at the same point, it seems like maybe some people are now crying because it's sad, because I think about this whole depiction of Morrissey. I think about the imagery here of, Morrissey up on the stage, and how maybe people are actually crying because they're sad for him. I don't know. But also some people are maybe just crying from laughter because, again, they can't believe this guy is real. And he believes all these things, and, he can rectify this, or he sees animals inside of him, or he is she, and he is me, and all these things. And anyway, so yeah, that comes to mind too. But at the same point, it's just, I don't know, I didn't expect the song to be so relatable. I didn't know what to expect here with this title, but it's pretty well straightforward. Talking about, I couldn't understand why they laughed, and yeah, I mean, he said that a lot throughout the song, but it was very important. It wasn't filler. It feels like he was more pointing that home more and more, because that's what he wanted people to know. I don't understand why I'm laughed at for the things I do, but anyway, I enjoyed it, I gotta say. So and again, it struck a chord with me, especially the animal line. But anyway, there you go there. So thanks for watching, thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, all those things. I really appreciate all the support, and coming back for another Morrissey Friday. Again, I was looking up Morrissey songs I ever reacted to yet, and this one caught my eye, and I'm glad I listened to it, because I just loved how clear his voice sounded, and I don't know, when he does that, it just feels like the words matter even more. But anyway, I guess that's all I'm gonna say. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys again soon.